this video, we'll talk about a topic which often creates concerns about not being able to handle it in the right way. I indeed notice that a topic that interests most of you, which also raises some concern, is the subject of jealousy. Ever had a clear feeling that your dog is jealous of another dog, of a person, of a kid, or it's struggling to accept a new canine friend into the family? Jealousy manifests in an evident way when we decide to welcome a new dog to the family. We immediately notice hostility towards the newcomer that can turn into aggressiveness and into a constant competition to try to gain the owner's attention. Other times, our dog can react differently to the avail of the newcomer, closing into itself, retreating, avoiding contact, like if it resents us. In both cases, it quickly becomes clear to us that our dog is living a situation of heavy emotional distress. We then have to ask ourselves if our dog can also feel that strong and difficult feeling that is jealousy. The answer comes from some studies made by a team of psychologists at the University of California in San Diego. This was the first experimental test on behaviors linked with jealousy in dogs. This research was done on 36 dogs and their owners, valuing the pet's reaction to the owner's interaction with various inanimate objects, including a stuffed toy representing another animal. The dogs reacted with jealousy behaviors only to interactions with the possible rival. This shows that dogs can recognize possible rivals and they can decide when to intervene to get attention. The feeling of jealousy then intervenes to break the bond they were excluded from and to get the attention back to them. What can we do then to avoid jealousy in our dog if we introduce a new person or dog into our lives? First of all, we need to remember that the mental and spiritual equilibrium of our dog, that is reflected in the relationship established with newcomers, depends a lot on its effectiveness of our guide figure, of which we talked of in previous tidbits. Like always, if we are a reliable guide figure to our dog, it will develop less of the feeling of morbid possession that leads it to be distraught in the introduction of a newcomer at the home. With this said, there are some precautions we can take when we introduce the newcomer to the home. 1. Always try not to move all the focus away from our dog to the newcomer that may take all the attention, especially if it's a pup. 2. Don't change the daily habits of our dog, walk, food, rest area, to adapt to the newcomer. Like said previously, consistency and habits are extremely important. 3. If, like said before, our guide figure definitely needs to lead the dog herd, composed of 2, 3, or 20 dogs, it's also true that there are hierarchies that develop among the dogs that essentially depend on their character predisposition to cover a lead role or be a follower. Our job, no matter what hierarchies develop in the future, will be to prefer the already present dog at first, feeding it first, cuddling it first, and rewarding it first, etc. In short, following these simple rules, your dog will gladly accept the newcomer, establishing a clear relationship without feelings of revenge.